特朗普嘅選舉咧，仲有幾日咧，世界上都有啲預言過，具體嘅喎。你當佢趣味咁睇睇咧，嗱一個就嚟自天主教嘅信徒，咁啊一個咧就嚟自基督教嘅，一個咧就嚟自未來人喎。咁當作呢一次嘅片咧，係一個趣味嘅，同世界大事有關，作為一個記錄咧。全世界好多國家都落咗水㗎啦，即係好多跟住特朗普嘅做法。如果佢選唔到咧，就話好大件事，世界係另一種格局嘅。咁香港都會可能面臨好唔同嘅情況。如果特朗普選到嘅話咧，咁香港其實都幾苦嘅。
如果 Donald Trump 贏，迅速碌下山，香港嘅 situation 係因為 Donald Trump 傾都唔同北京傾，係採取好強硬嘅措施，香港嘅 situation 咧就會惡化得好快。喺咁嘅情況之下咧，係去到打仗嘅邊緣。環球時報係有警告過，不排除咧扣留翻喺香港嘅加拿大人或者美國人嚟到作為報復嘅。如果加拿大仲敢收呢個香港人逃難嘅嗰邊，咁呢個好大鑊喎！香港30幾萬加拿大籍嘅人喎，美國籍嘅咧就8萬幾人。咁我諗英國籍咧都大鑊喎，因為咧英國咧五眼聯盟咧一定咧係採取同一嘅措施。咁呢個就係 Donald Trump 當選咧。如果我就唔知希望咩好。如果你希望共產黨亡咧，就希望 Donald Trump 贏啦。Donald Trump 贏咧，咁就立即咧就係進行呢個脫歐可能咧共產黨會崩潰。但係 meanwhile 咧就係痛苦到喊嘅呢個過程係香港陷入絕境入邊。即係 Donald Trump 咧，如果選贏咗之後咧，佢更加唔會留守去對付共產黨，中意做乜嘢就做乜嘢㗎啦。總之咧係不惜犧牲，都要喺佢嘅任期內咧打低共產黨。因為咧，你做到第2任總統嗰時咧，你只係一樣嘢嘅啫，你就會諗到喺歷史上你點樣留名嘅啫。歷史上點樣留名啊？最偉大嘅美國總統就係打冧咗中國共產黨，係咪呢一個？全世界以後冇咗共產黨。門面上咧係拜登嘅民調係勝過特朗普，即係幾乎係去到10%。咁雖然最近有啲調整，啲預言係點講咧？咁有3個好具體嘅預言嘅喎。一個咧就係叫做 Tom Simmer 嘅人，第一屆特朗普選之前其實喺80年代咧，首先係一個美國醫生，咁年輕嘅古蘭醫生去到意大利嘅時候咧，佢就認識咗一個隱士，呢人自己做隱士，佢係一個退休嘅美國軍人，咁但係佢日日咧喺聖堂好多嘅彌撒啦，佢嘅生命奉獻咗為世人咧，為美國去祈禱。
I was able to get hold of the original source of this story, an MD in Massachusetts, Dr. Claude Curran. You're definitely going to want to stay tuned to watch this.
So he said to me, he said, Claude, right now in the United States, there's a man who has the hand of God on him. He has the IQ of a genius and a first-class education. And everything he approaches, he attacks with a blinding efficiency. So I said, well, gee, I thought that was interesting. I said, well, Tom, who is it? And he goes, his name is Donald Trump. And I said, Tom, yeah, I've heard of Donald Trump. I said, but Thomas, he's kind of like this jet-setting playboy millionaire. I said, he dates Hollywood starlets, and he's always in the news with the glitterati. And he said, no, Claude. He said, I'm telling you, the hand of God is on him, and God is going to use him in the future. So I okay. Of course, now Donald Trump became president, and I am certain. Look at he's pro-life. He promotes Christian values. He's trying to make America great again. And America was greatest when any country is great when it embraces Christian values.
美國醫生嘅地位比香港或者其他好多世界地方仲高，因為美國咧你要讀完一個普通嘅學士學位，先至可以再去讀醫生嘅。咁加埋個訓練期咧成10年啊，咁所以叫做2個學位先做得到醫生。咁有 MD 我哋叫做 MD 啊。咁有 Tom Simmer 咧，去 Loretto 嘅一個地方，佢係一個好有靈修啦，好艱苦生活都唔介意嘅，好謙和嘅一個神聖嘅人物啊！受尊敬嘅人物喺83年咧，佢已經同古蘭醫生講，天主話俾佢知，呢個叫 Donald Trump 嘅人咧會選咗做美國總統，同埋帶領美國咧走翻條正確嘅路。古蘭醫生好詫異，唔係啊，嗰個喺紐約嘅花公子，因為嗰陣時係80年代啊。Tom Simmer 話係啊，係佢。佢仲咧特登咧喺2000年，我哋叫做聖年咧，每1000年咧，佢特登買咗一嚿磚咧，刻咗特朗普嘅名，擺喺梵蒂岡嗰個聖門啊，佢起嗰個聖門咧，擺喺入邊咧，等日有天主嘅祝福俾個未來嘅總統。 果然喎，4年前咧，特朗普就選到啦。無論你中唔中意佢都好，咁又做咗4年啦。然後另外有一位叫做 Mark Taylor 嘅，係一個消防員咧，佢係基督新教嘅背景，好普通嘅生活啊。有一日做下嘢咧，突然間聽到聲音話 Trump 即係特朗普咧係會選到總統。係2017年 Mark 就出咗本書，叫做有關特朗普嘅預言。佢另外有網址都列翻晒所有嘅預言喎，關於未來嘅事。咁啊，包括今次第2輪咧係都會選到做阿 Trump 做總統嘅。然後油價咧會低過$1一桶喎。啊，呢個今年應驗咗啦。
What led you to write this?
You know, I'm a third-generation firefighter. I retired out in 2006, and about a month after I retired, I had a visitation from the Lord. And in that visitation, the Lord showed me that there was going to be things that I was going to write that would affect my walk and the walks of others.
This is fascinating. So you had a vision?
Yeah, I had a visitation from the Lord himself. The Spirit of God visited me, and he was showing me things that an angel had been assigned to me.
In April of 2011, retired firefighter Mark Taylor was watching the news when Donald Trump came on the screen.
I didn't know a lot about Donald Trump. I just knew he was a very powerful businessman. So I'm listening to him on an interview, and all of a sudden I just heard the voice of the Lord say, "You're hearing the voice of a president."
Mark went into his office, got out a pen and paper, and started to write what he says the Holy Spirit told him.
You know, he was saying that basically that America was going to prosper like never before. Israel and America, the ties between the two countries would be stronger than ever before.
Taylor says God used Trump to stop an anti-Christian agenda that was taking hold of America.
The enemy's timeline has been denied by the Most High God, and it's through Donald Trump. A lot of this is being denied right now. And what God is saying right now is like, no, it's not time right now.
咁啊，第3個咧就特別啲啊，佢自稱咧係未來人喎。佢話自己喺上海出世，2020年咧即係今年出世啦。咁啊，而家可能聽到佢個出世嘅 BB 喊聲。咁然後咧，佢去咗幾十年之後咧，當時有一啲方式咧，佢可以翻嚟呢度，應該唔係身體翻啊，而係佢可以有一個靈性上或者同電子儀器溝通到咧。有啲電影啊，都係講緊呢樣嘢，即係人嘅腦筋可唔可以入咗電腦，而喺電腦度永遠生存咧
？Oh my God. I can't feel anything.
I'm here.
I don't understand. This is the future.
This is not our future. Evelyn! You're not here with me.
You've changed. Have you fallen out of love with me?
No. Where are you going?
Everywhere.
佢唔係講永遠生存，佢係翻嚟咧同我哋溝通。咁喺豆瓣嗰度咧開咗個平台，咁跟住咧就同人哋對答啊。人哋問佢好多問題去對答，有人問佢咁呢個貿易戰將來幾十年後點睇啊？佢話我哋唔稱佢做貿易戰，我哋叫做冷戰嘅開始。然後又會講到台灣啦。咁佢用繁體字嗰啲人好奇怪啦，國內啲人咧就問佢：喂，你用繁體字代表乜嘢啊？佢話原來未來咧就係有個文化融合嘅。繁體字會喺30年啊，2030年代咧會再次興起翻嘅。人問佢有冇打仗啦，有問到蔡英文選舉，應該是2019年啊嘛，上年會唔會選到啊？咁個答案就係，然後又會問佢特朗普咧會唔會第2次選到啊？佢話佢會選到。咁呢個叫未來人 KFK 咧自稱咧，咁啊應該2019年尾到啊消失咗㗎啦，佢都話明自己會翻去啦。佢講緊未來呢一樣好有趣嘅嘢，我定時注意到喺幾十年後咧，真係有次大戰喺3個州嘅中間位發生大戰。咁啊3年啊個戰爭，人類咧80億變咗做50幾億，因為疾病啦，當時咧 cancer 咧已經大致上醫好㗎，不過啲細菌咧或者病毒咧仍然好嚴重啊。跟住人類咧個數目即係大大降低近1/3，然後就係人嘅靈性開始追求唔再係經濟，佢話股市會1個鐘頭突然間消失啊，同埋金融系統會亂晒，咁人嘅生活會苦啲。不過呢個苦咧令到我哋更加去追求翻靈性嘅生命。嗱，呢個好符合我哋嘅信仰嘅喎，即係唔係咁講究物質。我哋 入世喺世上生活，不過又同時出世喎，即係超越呢一個人世。咁佢話當時嘅人咧係唔再咁追求金錢物質啊，而係咧個靈性，甚至好容易睇得到人哋嘅靈性生命。所以啲人問佢：你會勸喻年青人點啊？佢話勸喻年青人咧保持一個善良嘅心。因為呢一樣嘢將來最有價值，甚至好似暗示咧係會俾人睇得清清楚楚噶啦。將來再唔講都大話噶啦，可能真係會作個字喺額頭啊！我哋嘅講法，咁我哋跟住人會睇得出你成個人係點啊！佢冇詳細講到咧究竟乜嘢嘅宗教或者靈性生命，但係同我所了解嘅天主教會裏邊一啲比較公眾接受嘅預言咧，係幾相似嘅喎。有個地方喺前南斯拉夫嘅，而家 Croatia 叫做默主哥耶 （Medjugorje）。呢個地方我90年咧去過朝聖嘅啦，好早期。而家香港每年都有幾隊人咧去朝聖，世界各地都好多人去嘅。咁啊，相傳咧嗰度係聖母顯現俾6個年青人，而家就已經大晒啦，有啲結咗婚，有啲做咗靈修嘅生活。當年即係後生嗰啲係10零歲嘅啫，啲科學家去幫佢哋 check 晒啲腦電波喺度啦。
1981年6月開始，喺默主哥耶有6位屬於聖雅各伯堂區嘅克羅地亞青年，佢哋睇到聖母瑪利亞。當佢哋進入神魂超拔境界嘅時候，就會失去時間同空間嘅感覺，而佢哋所見嘅聖母係立體嘅。來自米蘭同一間法國大學嘅醫學同科學研究人員曾經做過科學嘅實驗，證實同記錄佢哋神魂超拔嘅狀況。
聖母顯現嘅時候咧，佢哋唔係發緊白日夢嘅 check 到腦電波，同埋咧喺佢哋眼睛用啲強光照咧，瞳孔冇反應，我哋叫神魂超拔嘅，你靈魂離開咗自己同呢個我哋叫靈性嘅嘢接觸啊，直接傾偈啊，摸到咪樣。耳仔亦都係啊，大聲喺側邊整啲鑼啊嗰啲嘢咧嘅聲音咧，佢哋冇反應嘅。就佢哋咧收到好多信息嘅，好多書本好多記錄㗎啦。入邊有講到咧，就係話將來人類咧都係會經過一個大嘅即係災難嘅清洗咧。唉，人啊真係慘嘅，唔經過辛苦嘅嘢咧，有陣時唔會成長。咁我哋呢條路都冇乜避唔到好多。咁然後咧，成個人類會變得平和喜樂，追尋天主多過一切，咁呢個都幾好嘅。其實如果人與人之間係真係用愛相待啊，喺我哋好多教會生活裏邊希望做到。不過咧，我哋都係罪人嚟嘅啫，盡力做啦，唔會咁完美嘅，因為呢度唔係天堂啊嘛。咁但係我哋朝住呢個宗旨去做啊，唔呃人啦，溫和對人啦，盡量啊。咁靠天主嘅能力去改變我哋自己生命啦。咁嘅生活咧，真正世界大同，你無論共產主義、資本主義咧，都做唔到。呢個咁嘅預言咧，講緊將來人類同埋未來人 KFK 講嘅都好相似喎。當然冇咗年份啦。咁為天主嘅嘢咧，聖經講咧，世界末日係唔知嘅，即係冇人會知，甚至耶穌基督都唔講，或者佢表達出嚟話佢都唔知咁。咁啊唔想我哋好似，如果你知道自己1個月後死咁，你個心好唔妥啊嘛，囉囉攣。所以能夠藉住愛天主、信佢、行每日嗰步咧，呢個就係我哋信徒嘅嗰種心態。你相信佢嘅愛，由你行每日有希望嘅一步，無論喺苦難中或者喺平凡嘅生活裏邊，你都知道佢深愛住你。咁咧呢個就係我哋嘅信仰嘅一個基礎啊，一個核心。各位，如果你中意呢個短片咧，好歡迎你撳 like 啦，或者係 share 啦，分享俾你嘅朋友。亦都可以最好咧就撳埋下邊呢個subscribe 嘅訂閱掣啦，紅色嘅掣，咁就免費訂閱。撳埋嗰個小啷啷咧，就更加會有新片自動通知你。喺美國都有好多 witch 啊，我哋叫做巫婆啊。啲女巫咧喺最近咧有6000幾個人喺網上聯合啊，話要一齊合作詛咒特朗普。
現在是有女巫哦，大批的女巫開始做法，要毀掉川普。他們還在臉書上弄一個社團叫做 Bind Trump，就是那個捆綁川普，然後裡面有6100個女巫哦，然後裡面有大批的女巫，然後他們就各式各樣的做法。比如我們現在看到有在那種川普大樓做法，有就在川普大樓前面做法，然後呢，有的就在家自己設一個小的靈堂就開始做法。女巫也說什麼，我們其實長期在詛咒川普，那川普呢之前被彈劾，對，因為川普之前被彈劾是跟我們有關係，然後呢，川普得新冠肺炎也跟我們有關係。
咁一齊念咒，又話令到佢咧，哇！我染咗武漢肺炎咧，都係因為佢哋咒語啊，但係佢3日內又翻返去白宮咧嗱。咁跟住咧又話我哋會令到佢咧喺同拜登辯論咧會表現好差，咁相對又唔係喎，都有一啲靈性力量咧喺我哋角度咧就係支持緊佢喎。
都川普，所以女巫挺拜登，可是川普也有，川普有修女在。修女在川普的竞选造势场合里面第一排，竟然是修女，没有错，这是10月24啊，川普在俄亥俄州的造势，结果川普后面有3个修女，就我们现在看到这3个修女，然后呢也变成大家热搜的话题，因为呢他们有一个人拿着圣经。另外一个人拿圣经，然后另外一个人拿玫瑰念珠，然后呢，另外一个人就看到他们几个就开始正念念有词，念念有词，就一直在帮川普那个像祈祷啊、助念等等的，说希望让川普可以赢得这场的選舉。
因為背後有巫師嘅女巫嘅力量去詛咒佢，同時我哋覺得咧有嚟自神啊天主嘅力量保護佢。咁啊睇下邊個勝出啦，亦都有啲預言去講到幾日後就有分曉啦。